Hi, I'm Benji Hardy. It's Tuesday, March 1st, and today's a Super Tuesday election. Arkansas will hold its primary election contest today along with a number of other states, including Alabama, Georgia, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and more. To my knowledge, there hasn't been any recent polling in Arkansas. The last poll of likely Republican voters showed Texas Senator Ted Cruz with the lead above Florida Senator Marco Rubio and Donald Trump, who were tied for second place. But that poll was conducted several weeks ago, and the electoral ground has definitely shifted since then. There's been other primary contests held. It's really a toss-up to see what happens in the Arkansas Republican primary. Marco Rubio does seem to think he has a shot at winning Arkansas. He has devoted some time to the state. He appeared here twice in the past few days. And Governor Asa Hutchinson and a number of other Republican elected officials have been stumping for him. Rubio has by far the largest amount of support from of any candidate among Arkansas Republicans, that is elected officials. But it's unclear how much that support really matters in a cycle as chaotic as this one when so many voters are supporting outsider candidates. Meanwhile, Ted Cruz's hard-right policies would seem to make him a natural favorite in Arkansas, as conservative as the state is. But as Republicans have discovered, Donald Trump still has a surprisingly large enduring appeal among a certain subset of evangelical voters as well. So it remains to be seen. Polls do show Trump sweeping most of the other Super Tuesday states that are in play tonight. Cruz will probably win his home state of Texas. And if Rubio manages to pick up a win anywhere, Arkansas could be it, although I think the safe money is still on Donald Trump. Just a reminder that in addition to the presidential primary, Arkansas holds its judicial elections today. Among other judgeships, the state will select 2 state Supreme Court justices. Running for the Chief Justice position, there's Associate Justice Courtney Goodson versus Mountain Home Circuit Judge Dan Kemp. It's a difficult race to decide which is the clear choice there. Both candidates honestly have black marks against them on a number of issues. So we're declining to make a clear endorsement of that race. Fortunately, in the other race for Supreme Court, there is a clear choice. That election pits Little Rock lawyer Clark Mason against Sean Womack, a Mountain Home Circuit judge with a history of sponsoring anti-LGBT legislation while he served as a state senator. Mason, on the other hand, has the endorsement of former Governor Mike Beebe. Mason was appointed by Beebe as a special justice on a state Supreme Court race while Beebe was governor. Moving on, some news from Southwest Arkansas. Last month, the city of Texarkana joined the limited ranks of Arkansas communities that have passed ordinances providing some measure of equal protection for LGBT people. It's a modest measure that the city passed in January. It includes sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes in city employment and personnel practices. It also extends to those businesses that contract with the city. It basically means the city can't discriminate against LGBT people in hiring. But even so, it's now come under fire from a group of local residents that want to overturn that ordinance by referendum. They'll need to gather petitions for the signatures of around 1,100 voters in Texarkana to force a popular vote on the issue. And helping to try to turn back the clock on that equality measure is Fayetteville lawyer Travis Story, who helped lead opposition to a non-discrimination ordinance in Fayetteville himself. Texarkana City Director Tim Johnson, who sponsored the non-discrimination ordinance, said that the opposition caught him off guard. His intention, he said, was to put the city of Texarkana in a better position to compete for new industry and business by signaling that it's committed to equal employment and inclusion. But now they're facing a fight. State Senator Jason Rapert announced yesterday that he's reached his fundraising goal for a 10 Commandments monument to be placed at the Arkansas State Capitol. This came about because of a law sponsored by Rapert that passed last year that allows private funds to pay for the creation and installation of a monument on Capitol grounds, a monument to the 10 Commandments. Rapert started a GoFundMe pledge drive 2 weeks ago to raise the money, and he's now been successful. He's raised over $18,000 with the pledge drive in the past 2 weeks, with the final $4,500 coming from John Williamson of the Agape Church in Little Rock just this weekend. Rapert's happy with the decision. I'm happy with the results of his pledge drive, but of course, if the monument is built, it will inevitably invite a legal challenge on First Amendment grounds. So that remains to be seen. Finally, in the news, voter ID is coming up again in Washington County. In Fayetteville, a local news station falsely reported yesterday that voters must bring their IDs to the poll. to the polls. That's not true according to state law. The Arkansas Supreme Court in 2014 overturned a voter ID law passed by the legislature in 2012. The court ruled that voters are not required to show ID at the polls. Poll workers do usually ask voters for an ID, but voters do not have to provide an ID in order to cast a ballot. But it appears that the Washington County website also inaccurately says that voters must show identification in order to vote. Now, the law is very clear about this, so this is just a matter of misinformation out there. If you were asked to show your ID at the polls, once again, poll workers are certainly within their rights to ask you for an ID, but you are not legally required to present one. That's all for today. Back tomorrow with election results.
You feel it in your heart, the spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team.